Marlon. We're in the Ōtautahi Town Hall on the eve of your last show of this Tā Te Manawa tour. Pehenga Piropiro, how are you feeling?
Oh, you can imagine. It's been a big week. But I don't know, I feel sort of at peace, you know. It feels, you know, it's been a bit of a grueling tour in terms of long sets and a lot of songs, but it feels like, you know, it's good exercise, you know. I really, I feel like I'm doing the right thing, you know. I'm doing things the way I like to do them, and obviously knowing I've got a break coming up means I can really relish it while it's happening.
Yeah, because this tour, over the last couple of months, you've done over 25 shows here, Australia, around the world. Did you just want to smash it out as quick as you could and get it done?
In a way, yeah. You know, it's like once you start a tour, you kind of have to keep going pretty fast because it's, you know, time is money on the road. So, yeah, it was a sort of a scorched earth policy for this last wee run.
Yeah, and nice to be ending it here in your haukainga in Ōtautahi. How was the show last night?
It was good. It's always hard because, you know, there's a lot of complexity in the room when you're in your hometown. You know, you know who's in here. You can sort of imagine that what people are, you know, these individuals are thinking. You start, you know, sort of your mind starts drifting to the last kōrero where you have with someone, but of course being at the end of the tour too, you know, things are a little frayed on the energy front. So yeah, some spooky things end up happening, but you know, we end it here for a reason. You know, it's only right that you finish things off at home.
Yeah, so much has happened since we last spoke to each other. You released your whareti weka weka, you released your doko, Ngā Aoerua, you won the Silver Scroll Award, you won the Tap Music Prize, you just won Album of the Year, Single of the Year, Best Solo Artist, and Mark Perkins won Best Engineer. What a run you've had, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy if you put it like that. Yeah. Haven't heard anyone sort of sum it all up in one sentence, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of too much to really to have settle on me at this point. I reckon that'll take a mo and a bit of reflection time to sort of properly perspectivise it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think at the Music Awards, which just happened last week, when you got the nod for Single of the Year and Album of the Year for this album, Te Whareti Weka Weka?
Well, you know, I was surprised. I didn't think that was going to happen. I had my picks, and I thought, you know, with 7 noms, I thought I maybe could come out with 1 or 2 maybe, but yeah, for the project and for me and for the project to come up with 4 was, yeah, of course it was a shock. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess as well, you know, you've written lots of incredible songs over your career. Is there an extra sense of, I guess, like joy or accomplishment in the fact that you have had this album, which is your first album in Te Reo Māori, acknowledged in such a wonderful way, and that people have received it so well? Yeah,
I mean, for me, the most beautiful thing is hearing, you know, I get tagged in videos or people send me videos of their tamariki at kapahaka singing kōrero Māori, or, you know, that was the ultimate goal of this record, was that just adding to the canon, really, you know, and of course the sort of sense of acceptance that brings is huge to me personally. But for me, I just want more stuff for kids to be able to do, you know.
Yeah, and was it nice for you to have Te Kapahaka o Te Kura Kaupapa Māori o Hōwane Waitatī bring you onto the stage to accept that award? And they were singing a song about the Māori language petition. Yeah,
by that point I was actually floating, and I was, you know, I was suspended in the air, and I sort of kind of blacked out just because it was overwhelming. But yeah, that was it for me. That was just ultimate tohu of acceptance, and yeah, I was chuffed.
Yeah. On these shows that you've been doing, you've been playing Rongomai by Hirini Melbourne, and by Hirini Melbourne, and you dedicated Te Whareti Weka Weka to him, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, if you think about just what I was just saying then about, you know, the aim of getting waiata in the mouths of babes, you know, Hirini is the foremost dude for that. And so it's, I think that was the whole cope-up of the record was in that spirit. And so, I think it's, I wanted to get some more Hirani songs in the set, but we end up going in very different sort of directions now. So
is there a reason why you picked Rungomai?
I think I like the macro micro elements of that song. It's a song about Rungomai, about Halley's Comet.
Right? Yeah.
But it's also, again, it's about people. It's the only reason he wants to get up on top of that comet and look down is because it's just his perspective on what's happening back on Earth, where the people are. So, and I think, that's sort of, he does things a lot on the microscopic scale, but for him to go all the way out and then look down again is awesome.
It's one thing I loved about lots of the songs on Te Whare Te Weka Weka in that, I speak Māori, but some of the songs felt really abstract to me. Like listening to them, I'm like, I don't really know what this is about, but I'm totally into it.
Well, I mean, you've got me who still doesn't speak Te Reo Māori properly. You've got Komi who speaks a very, as kaitahu, a staunch advocate for kaitahu reo, but also as a very angular artist in their own right. Then you've got just the weirdness of songwriting in general, and how like sort of flimsy literality is as a thing in songwriting, and you put all those things together, and then things are going to be a little obscure and hard to place. But I think it's nice to have certain things in the musical landscape that don't fit neatly into any world.
If you weren't about to take a break, do you think you'd do another album in Te Reo, or would you go back to writing in?
Well, I think the thing, I'm only really taking a break from touring. This is the opportunity now to sort of, just see what happens in the stillness and see where we go next. I think, there's always going to be Te Reo woven into the songwriting from now on. And it's hard to, whether it's a fully Te Reo album, whether it's, I've got inklings of making a sort of hongi-tonk record, or hongi-tonk.
That's great.
And it's sort of, just sort of flips in and out between the languages. So, I think there's the world's sort of wide open from now on.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say you're only taking a break from touring, because all of the headlines and all of the interviews and everything keep saying you're retiring.
Yeah.
And I don't think that you could ever retire from music, if I'm honest.
No. It's just, I think it's a bit grandiose, but just the concept of rāhui, it's just, we're not shutting the world down for, we're just like allowing a bit of regeneration and just what you have to do for any sort of system, So I think that's a far better word than retirement, because it's just a little.
So he's not going off to die.
You know what the media, how things sort of
because
proliferate.
because in the past, would you say that you haven't really taken that good care of yourself in the way that you've toured and?
Totally, I mean, I don't really. I'm like a greyhound. I don't really. If I see the rabbit, I'll just keep running until the rabbit stops. So and I think while I was a bit whakamā about being so public, saying I'm stepping, and I know I comes from a privileged spot to be able to say I'm going to take some time off, and of course all those things. But because I think personally I needed the signal to be big enough so that I could believe it myself, in some way.
Yeah. I loved what you said at the Music Awards about the spread of music that we love here in Aotearoa, and I think this year's Music Awards were really indicative of how much people love music that has Te Reo Māori in it. Yeah,
I think you just got to go back to sound, right? What sounds nice? He rōreka i tikanga, the sweet sound is the one that is the rule,
Yeah.
And I think that's more than anything, it's just using physiology of how Te Reo Māori feels as a way of getting it, that's the most direct line to propagating Te Reo Māori, is going, listen to it,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So you're going to take a break from touring. What are you going to do? I know you bought a kayak, but I also know you can't swim.
Well, that's why I better be good on the kayak, eh? Well, I get a life jacket. It's all good. I practiced on that music video for Awatura. Anyway, but no, yeah, I'm gonna do some kayaking. Just get bored. Just remember what it's like. Yeah, remember what it's like to have a routine in one place, and know that on Wednesdays I have coffee with so and so, and I want you really start longing for that kind of normality. So yeah, just doing what normal people do, I think.
Yeah, but still probably writing songs.
And write it, yeah. I've got still mahi to do, but just within the normal person structure.
Yeah. Has it been nice actually on these shows? I know that you take requests from people and playing a lot of songs from your back catalogue, because I guess most of the time when you're touring, you're promoting an album, so you're playing songs from the album and you don't get to Ruku Hohonu into all the other songs.
Absolutely, yeah. That's it's like I love the excitement of having a new thing and representing it to a crowd, but there's something really great about just sort of picking and choosing and letting the room decide how the set works, and then listening to the way the songs kind of talk to each other when they're put in different sort of formations. But then, and also we've been getting a little bit crazy. In Nelson, we tried to do a version of Hendrix's All Along the Watchtower. We tried like 3 different Roy Orbison songs, and we got about 10 seconds into each of them.
Right.
So yeah, I said to that crowd, I was like, any songs you want to hear that I've written, that I haven't written, that we know, that we don't know,
Because did I see you doing a Shania Twain song?
That's right, yeah, that's right. That was back at the start of the tour, yeah. We did, someone just out of nowhere was like, still the one? Off we go. Awesome.
I love it. I mentioned before when I turned up to the venue today, there was a wahine outside and she'd left her phone here at the show last night. So I asked her what she thought of the show, and she said the last song you played she'd never ever heard before, and she had an out-of-body experience, and that she wanted me to tell you that she really loves you.
Oh, well, thank you for passing that on. It's really lovely.
What was the song that you played last night?
It's Portrait of a Man. It's a Screaming Jay Hawkins tune.
You've played that quite a bit before.
Yeah, but we sort of put it to rest for a few years, so it's back in the fold now.
Yeah. Well, Marlon, tēnei o ka mihi kia koe. Thank you so much for taking time for a kōrero with us today, and enjoy your whakata and your rāhui and just hanging out in the moana on your kayak.
Thank you.